We've got one more story. This is from the Toronto Sun. Toronto Council adding an unelected member based on race. Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow's office embraces the idea of creating an Indigenous member of council. Who picks them? I don't know.
Oh my gosh. What the heck?
uh,
Like that's the
yeah,
title? Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Toronto
So
Council adding unelected member based on race. So oh my gosh, this is bad. I shouldn't be surprised. So now it's not about your constituents electing you, it's just about your race. Wow.
one councillor said this place is out of control. Yes.
He's going to be called a residential school denier in a moment here.
Yeah.
What's
And
happening
say
next?
it's a plan that is they say it's a plan that came out of the city's Aboriginal Affairs Advisory Committee, which
Of
reports to
course.
the mayor and proposed council. So a hand-selected committee of busybodies are going to now advise that this position exists, and then probably play a strong hand in selecting that person, which would just be an extra councillor who agrees with the mayor.
This is when you ask if we're a real country. Like, how does this even, how do you even say this out loud with all seriousness?
As if this is
Yeah.
a thing that Toronto needs to be concerned about. Have you been to Toronto lately? It's housing is out of control. Traffic is a nightmare. Homelessness, drug addiction, crime, shootings. Which one do you want me to talk about this week? Like people
Mhm.
going into bars and just spraying bullets around. I feel like the mayor has other things that she needs to deal with. Oh, and how dare I forget this one? The rampant anti Semitism, the
Mm.
Islamist police, and their
Mm.
podcast. I feel like the mayor has bigger fish to fry, but this is part of a broader issue that happens in left-wing governments. And I know this because our friends in Australia, our Australian team, covered this quite closely, the voice to parliament in Australia. And it was basically this. There would be an exclusively Indigenous voice to parliament, they called it, whatever that would look like at the end of the day, I don't know. But it would basically have a role to play in parliament, not elected, completely based on race. And this is the same thing. And that was rejected in
Okay.
Australia of all places.
Yeah.
So let's hope
And
Toronto does the same.
well, and governments already have advisors for all of these types of things, right? Like they already have, select groups of people that consult with and advocate for their different communities. Like there's literally no need to do this. Stop being so lazy. You want to get elected, go campaign. Put in the work. Ugh.
Yeah, like if you are Indigenous and you want to bring forward Indigenous ideas, again, like there are you can form a lobby group, lobby government, or as Drea suggests, just get elected. Then go sit on the Indigenous, whatever they call it, Indigenous Affairs, Aboriginal Affairs. Sit on that panel, that House of Commons committee, advance these ideas. If you are somebody who cares about this and you're an elected member, meet with Indigenous people in the community and you bring your ideas to them if they're not
Yeah.
going to get elected. There are ways to advance these ideas that don't subvert democracy in its most basic form.
Not to mention, I highly doubt any banned governments would take anybody from outside of their nation uh, in the opposite direction.